What's up, guys? It's Madeja Kyrie, your favorite mental health therapist, and I'm here for a well-requested video that I wish I had access to when I was in my master's program, or my last semester of my master's program. So if you are new here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the family, but we're family either way. You can go to my channel, watch my previous shorts and videos, and come back to this one, or you can just watch this one and join the tribe, okay? So I am a licensed mental health counseling associate, and what associate means essentially is that you have just finished your program, you are educated, you are competent, and you are licensed in the state that you live in to provide therapy services or counseling services, but you are just starting out. And so you are an associate, which is a provisional license, which means that you're working up under a fully licensed provider who is certified by the state to be a supervisor. So essentially, they are the person that you refer to when you need help with your cases. They're the person that you kind of consult your cases with. So you tell them what the cases you have, any questions you have. If you need any help to grow as a provider, that is the person that is your support in those 2 years that it takes to get your full license. You can also go to them if you need help with the documentation side of therapy. They're just there as a backup for you when you submit paperwork. It is essentially for insurance to pay out your services, and so you have to kind of give that background of what you're doing, why you're doing it. And so your supervisor is the one that approves all that. So when you type it up, you send it, your supervisor will look over it. If there's anything you need to change, if there's anything that's off you need to work on as a clinician to improve, that's what they're there to let you know about. Like, why did you choose that diagnosis? When you state your interventions, let's make them more measurable, more achievable, SMART goals, things like that. So in these 2 years that you're an associate, I'm breathing so hard. So I breathe. If you notice in my videos, I'd be like, and I talk. I think I'm a mouth breather, so when I speak, I'm kind of holding my breath as I speak, and then I keep going. So if you've ever watched my videos and you're like, why is she breathing like that? Like, that's why. Asthma problems, okay? Anyway, back to what I was saying. So they're that support for you. And so during those 2 years, you have to be open to receive criticism, which is just constructive feedback on how you can grow. You're gonna work so hard on your treatment plan, so hard on your documentation, and if they tear it apart, be grateful, because those 2 years are truly the time you get to be guided and shaped as a clinician that you want to be. So you be you, and they help you be the best you. And if you don't utilize those 2 years and actually take advantage of the person that's there legally helping you the entire time, then when your 2 years are up, if you get your full license and you're on your own, you're going to be like a chicken with his head cut off. You're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know what to put on the paper. You're just going to be flying on high hopes, and you want to protect your license at all times. If you do documentation and you're not covering yourself the way you're supposed to, and a client wants to report you or they sue you, your license is at risk. So you have to ensure that you're taking these steps to be the best clinician you can be, so that you learn the CYA. Cover your, okay? And so the title of this video is what I'm here to talk to you about. As an associate licensed therapist, before I was licensed and I saw the to-do list, I was so stressed out. Why did I think 4 years was all I needed? I thought a psychology degree was how you be a therapist. I got my bachelor's in psychology. I was like, 4 years, baby, we in there. No, they were like, no, baby, you got to go do 4 more. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So for a year, I was doing like mentor work, going to underserved communities, advocating for students who didn't have housing or food, things like that. Then I was like, I just want to do more. I love helping. Everything is so necessary. So many amazing people do so many jobs to help others. I want to really talk about what's going on, because a lot of us struggle, and we survive through that. But what we went through follows us everywhere we go. Yeah, you survived. Yeah, you had help. But now you're an adult and you don't understand why you can't sleep. You don't understand why you hate yourself. You don't understand why you can't connect to anyone else, or that you isolate yourself even when you want to be around people. That's because your body keeps the score It remembers what you've been through and it's reacting in like almost like a coping mechanism to protect yourself. And unless you work through those things, it don't matter how much you survive, it don't matter how great your life gets, you're going to be stuck where you are and you're going to need help and support to do that. And that's why therapy is an amazing resource. There's a negative stigma around therapy because it means you're weak. It means that you can't do it on your own. No, it doesn't. It just means life is hard. And instead of doing it on my own, I have the strength to get help. So always go to therapy if that applies to you. If you feel like you had a hard life, you've worked through it, you've been healed through that, through whatever you believe in, and you're having a healthy adulthood or a childhood, then that's great. But for those of us who feel stuck, who feels lost, who feels like they don't know what to do, that's what these resources are for. That's why they became a profession. And I'm proud to be a part of it. Now, when you're in your last semester of mental health, like trying to pursue a degree in mental health, you do have, while you're in school, you have to pass something called the CPCE. Okay? That is the Counselor Preparation Comprehensive Exam. So this essentially means you've learned what you needed to learn in this master's program. You are competent enough to understand what is needed from you as a counselor in training, you know what I'm saying? Which is very annoying because you have to pay to take this exam. You're already paying for tuition. You're already paying for a million things, books, tuition, your regular life that you're living as you pursue this degree. No, baby, you also have to pay to take this CPCE exam before you can graduate. So before you can even start the process to pursue your license, you need to pass the CPCE. Okay? I'm going to tell you the resources that I've used to pass the CPCE. And then we're going to talk about what I used. And I passed the CPCE on my first try. Then I'm going to tell you what I've used to pass my NCE on my first try. Okay, keep up. Okay, so for that CPCE exam that you have to take in your last semester of grad school before you can graduate with your master's degree, before you can pursue your licensure, if you want to be a licensed clinical mental health counselor or a therapist in general, is this Golden Grail right here. You can get this off Amazon, anywhere that sells books like this. It's called the Mometrix Test Preparation CPCE Secrets Study Guide. So it essentially has everything you need to know to prepare yourself to pass this CPCE exam. I'm telling you, I just used this one book. This one book is all I used for the CPCE. Okay, when you're in school and you're asking peers and professors what you can use to study, it can get overwhelming. People are paying for subscriptions to sites that test you every day. People are paying for all kind of books, multiple books to study because everyone's nervous. Everyone wants to pass because this is the last hill after all the coursework and all the papers and all the stress that's in your way to getting that degree. So we're not talking about the license. We're talking about if you're in a clinical mental health program. I don't know about social work because I know they can be therapists as well, but I was in a clinical mental health graduate program. You need this book. What I love about this book is not only does it have quizzes, questions, and just a breakdown of every chapter that's going to be tested, it has a QR code. So when you open it, it lets you know that there's an online course. You can scan the QR code. You don't have to pay for the course because I sure did not. Okay, I did go to their website and it's also on the front page of that book. The website will have tests, different examples of a test. So there's I think 3 or 4 different tests that has different questions. I took all of them because you got to think you schedule your CPCE on your own. So I scheduled my CPCE, I think, either 2 or 4 months out. I know that's a big gap, but I don't be needing much time because I don't like stressing. I'm going to study and then I'm ready. Either I know it or I don't. So when you go to the website, be mindful that you need to give yourself not 2 seconds to study, but at least a month or so. I looked at the books. I broke it down by day, Monday through Sunday, what I could realistically do and how long it would take me to go through the whole book that way. And that's how many months I booked it out. But you have to take it before you graduate. So if you know you graduate next year, then the start of that year or the previous year, whenever you're in that last semester, or you know about it, schedule it out. So when you start that semester, you have 5 months. The beginning of that semester, go ahead and book it towards the end of the semester. Study that entire semester. Take it, pass it, graduate. Okay? Because they're going to let your school know your score. So the CPCE goes over certain topics. Some of those topics include professional counseling orientation and ethical practice, social and cultural diversity, human growth and development, counseling and helping relationships, group counseling and group work, assessment and testing, and research and program evaluation. Those are kind of the same topics that's going to be on your NCE. So right about now in your journey, you're noticing, oh, word, y'all making me pay to pretty much take the NCE, the pre-NCE to graduate, then turn around and pay to take the actual NCE, which is pretty much a harder version of the CPCE, when really they kind of ask similar questions. But the NCE just goes more in depth because, of course, you're applying to be the actual counselor now. So those are the topics it covers. And so when you go on that site, they have practice quizzes which within each topic. So let's say I do great, but I struggle with assessment and testing. You can go take a quiz on it, see how you fare. If you don't do well, that's fine. You can review that quiz and it'll give you the correct answers and it will explain why it's correct. So you kind of get to see where you're confused and it'll break it down for you. And that's with every chapter. Okay. Then again, I'm going to show you an example of a chapter that actually is teaching you. It kind of breaks it down for you too, which I think is cool. So when you get in here, it says 4-week CPCE study plan. It's going to take more than 4 weeks, but it breaks it down each week. Do this 1 week, do this the second week. You can follow this, or again, do what you can realistically do. As I was studying for this, I was a mom of 2 toddlers. So me trying to read a whole chapter every single day wasn't going to do it. So I had to break it down, whether I took 2 days to do that one chapter. I mean, not 2 days, but I broke that chapter down into 1 week, chunks every day into 1 week. I would take a quiz every week, or every 2 quizzes every other day, you get what I'm saying? And then study what I did wrong, study what I got wrong. And that's this entire book. Another thing you can do with Mometrix, and I hope I'm saying that right, is they had tests up there. I told you they had tests. And so mine is all out of order because I don't need it anymore, but you can print out the exams. And so I'm a paper girl, trying to do everything on my computer. I need to go back, I need to read, I need to have it tangibly in my hand. I printed out their exams, I took them. I will put my answers, I will look at the answer sheet. I will give myself a score. So let's say I got 17 right 32 right out of 70. I will put that down, give myself a low score. And then I will go study the answer sheet and go back and forth. So this one was B, here's why it was B. Into my brain, and then I would once I would do one exam that way, I would go to the exam on the computer and I would give myself the final test. Now that I've taken it, I've studied what I was wrong about. Now I'm going to give myself this last chance to take it again to see if I do better. And every time, that second time, of course, I did better because I studied what I did wrong. And so you kind of find your flow that way with this resource. Do what you will. But I just know I wish somebody would have told me how simple it was to study. And I just wanted one resource that I could lock into and give myself the best ability to pass. And that was this book. That was this book for me. Okay. I also use this book as well, not as much to study for the NCE because I noticed it was similar topics, pretty much the same topics. And so I would just go back over the things I've already done. So I would go back online. It will already have the little times I've tried the exams, and I would just go over the correct answers. I wasn't worried about taking it anymore because I already did that. I was just looking at the correct answers and kind of brushing up on those topics. Okay. Now, this was the holy grail for the CPCE. And also a good supplemental resource for the NCE. For the NCE, I also used one book. And if you can see the pattern here, I'm pretty simple. I'm not going to play games with nobody because I'm not here to play. And I got stuff to do. And I got kids. And I don't have time to be stressing and hunched over a stack of books, flipping through books all day. I feel like that's confusing. When you study and you do that, you stress yourself out more than anything else, and you're worse off when you started than when you started. Keep it simple. Your brain can download only but so much. Give yourself a chance. The NCE Holy Grail. Encyclopedia of Counseling by Howard Rosenthal. Everybody had this book. Okay? I even have, hold on. It even came with a stack of CDs. If you're somebody who's like, bro, this is a Harry Potter novel, I don't want to read all that. But you got a CD player or you got a car that has a CD input and you can listen to this on the way to work. If you got a commute, you can listen to this as you get ready. It will legit read you this entire book. Quiz questions and all. Vital information and review questions for the NCE, CPCE, and state counseling exams. You can use this for the CPCE as well. Because it focuses on so much, I wanted that other book just to focus on the NCE. I mean the CPCE so I can graduate. Once that was good, baby, this is going to review everything. And I was again, I'm a hands-on girl. I didn't want to hear all that. You distracted me with your voice and I'm a tone out. So I had to take it day by day. I think I did 10 pages a day with this. And let me show you what this has in it. So he tells you everything. This shouldn't even be legal. He tells you everything he saw on the NCE and the correct answers to those things. And then he has sections where he's talking. Let me show you. Who else wants to say I passed? He gives you a little spiel about what the NCE looks like, the cheat codes to pass it, the NCE at a glance, so that you know what to expect. You're not nervous. He tells you what to expect for the CPCE as well. My humble beginnings. He tells you what you generally need to know and what you can just throw out the window, because he knows that there's so much thrown at us and we're thinking about every single thing. No, baby, the NCE not going to do all that. It's going to be straight to the point. So once he gets over kind of pretty much on a bond with you via book and tell you everything that's up there, how sometimes things are overcomplicated, and he just want to help out as many clinicians as possible to cut through the BS and just go straight to the point, you can go to the sections. So again, this book breaks down the sections that we'll be tested on. Let me find those. So this book goes over human growth and development, social and cultural diversity, counseling. You get the vibe. What does it sound like? The CPCE. And so once you get through all of this talking, which is him just telling you how you have to cut through the BS, how to prepare for the exam, little tips and tricks, you get into the actual quote-unquote study guide. It starts with the first category, and it does this for every single one. It tells you what category this is, give you a little insight, then it's quizzes. So you read the question, answer it. I will cover the bottom, answer it, move your hand, the correct answer is right below it, and the explanation for the correct answer is below that. You literally see in real time how you got it wrong and how to understand why the right answer is right, versus just you say B and it got just a C underneath. So, I got it wrong, but you don't know why it's wrong. This will tell you what's right, why it's right. Let's say you pick B. He's like, and that's close. He'll be like, I understand why you chose B. This is what B is saying in depth. This is why it's not B, it's C, and this is why it's C. You get what I'm saying? Great resource when you're finished. So I'm going to go all the way to the back. So you got professional orientation, and ethical practice. You have like research and program evaluation. It is a little different with the categories. And NCE, but just do your best. I make notes in this book, so if something really trumped me, I'll notate, because you write, and it helps your brain as well. It helps you with diagnosis and advanced concepts. And then the back just kind of goes over every theory that you had to study in this program. It breaks it down for you, just in case you didn't understand. So it goes over G. Stanley Hall, behaviorism, Erik Erickson's 8 psychosocial stages. You got Piaget, Jean Piaget. Everybody knows Jean Piaget. But anyway, all those ones that we probably just forgot about because we're just going through the courses and we're just trying to graduate. He's going to brush you up on that. He's going to brush you up on research, how to read, assessments, diagnosis, all of it with just this book. I'm going to link both of the resources below in the description. You got this. God won't put you here for no reason. You're going to do great. Just believe in yourself and don't overcomplicate it. Okay? You know it or you don't. And I've heard many people take it once and fail by 1 point. And that's not to discourage you. It's to encourage you that even if you fail it, that don't mean we walking away. We not in this job because we wanted an easy path. We in the job to do the right thing and do the hard work. And so if you fail, log back in, do it again. Love you. Thank you for watching. Hope you like this video. If there's any other tips or advice that you want from a licensed mental health counselor, let me know and I can make those videos for you. Okay? Love you. Bye.